So we're recording. Welcome to the Limitless team call. So glad to have you guys here. I know that it says that I am Dr. Josh and Lisa. I am neither. For those of you who don't know me, I'm JoJo Bennington, and I am just a happy member of this team. So Lisa and Josh have spent an entire weekend putting on an amazing event. And they are just taking care of what they got to take care of down in Atlanta. So they asked if I would hop in and just kind of mediate the call tonight. So here I am. Hi, everyone. Good to see your faces. So before we get started, I would love to just take some gratitude, some celebrations. You want to celebrate somebody or something or something?
I would love to celebrate. Her name is Corinne Wright. I don't think that she's on the call, but she just hit consultant, and she is the beautiful mama of a little baby and in California. And she was enrolled by Lisa Cross, and I know Lisa was visiting her daughter, Sky. So Corinne had some questions while Lisa was away, and we worked together, and she just enrolled her second person. So actually more than her second person, but her second person on her other side.
Right. Well, that's exciting. That's a good celebration.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Anybody else? Celebration? Happy things going on? It's got to be something out there.
We had someone hit consultant. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. But yeah, we need one more consultant for Crystal Director.
Yay!
So we're pretty excited. Technically it says 2, but it's just because one of our consultants is her daughter didn't order or something, so she's technically a consultant. So we technically have one more. So
yay, that's exciting!
Congratulations!
Awesome. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. Paul, did you have something?
Yeah, 12 inches of snow on the way up here in Northeast.
Okay, I am not celebrating with you on that. Well, no, I am celebrating. I'm in Las Vegas and you're there. I'll celebrate.
That's not fair.
My celebration with that is it's March and it's not November. Okay.
Gotcha.
Very, very temporary.
True.
It's one of those. It snows today and tomorrow it's on.
Yeah, the last foot of snow we had, 7 days later, it was 70 degrees. So
good. That's good.
Yeah.
We are in a bipolar vortex.
I understand. Well, thank you, guys. If nobody has anything else, we'll hop right in and get rolling. Anybody? Going? Okay. So again, I am, I've been doing this for 11 years, and there's no question. It seems that after every single event, you think that my belief couldn't get any higher. But not only does my belief in the company and the product and everything get higher after every event, but also my belief in attending events gets higher. And I know that having the unshakable belief that it can take to build this business, that to be in attendance at events, and I don't care how you got to get there or what event it is, whether it's a Super Saturday, whether it's a launch party, whether it's an online training, whether it's a Zoom, whether it's one of our big core 4s, whatever that is, how important events are. And the event that Josh and Lisa put together this weekend in Atlanta with Dr. Brian and Dr. Brad, and Dr. Ina was there. So if you guys know who Dr. Ina is, she's the one who runs our coaching line for the actual company. So when you call in to get coached on the product, that's who you talk to. She was there. Dr. Pareka was there. Glenn, Ina's husband, he is also a doctor. They were there. So they actually did a Super Saturday yesterday where Dave and Carrie MacArthur our wonderful upline teachers, our mindset masters were there coaching. Also, Josh and Lisa were there, and I missed some of the beginning of the day, and I know some of you guys caught that, so I'm going to bring you guys into chat a little bit, but just understanding that what they put together today, which was a practitioner's day, and the only people who spoke today were the doctors, and how they understand this product and how they've incorporated it into their businesses, and how they brought it into the practice and use it with their clients, and the mindset around network marketing and all of those things that as you start to talk to practitioners and medical professionals, they throw out as objections. All of those were answered today. And, there's so much that we could put into that. But before I say anything else, I know, Sin, that you were on both days. And so just would love you to share some takeaways if you would do that. I know I didn't plan that for you, but
that's okay. One of the biggest takeaways today for me was when talking to practitioners, I've been hesitant too because I'm not a practitioner, but just as Joshua was talking about, they're just like anybody else. You just still want to get to what their pain is. But one of the biggest things I took away was that they can incentivize their staff without it coming out of their pocket. That is huge. So if you're talking to a practitioner, and they have several staff members, or maybe they just have one or two, they're not paying anything more out of their budget to the employee. The employee is incentivized by being a product of the product. They have to talk about it. They'll be talking about it anyway. Why not get paid for it? So that was huge to me, because I think that's would be huge to any practice, whether it's a, doctor or, somebody that has a personal training practice as well. And what else? Kind of the ease of implementation of this. I think a lot of times, when we talk to businesses, they think they're going to have to do a whole lot of work in order to implement. But really, if you can appoint a point person in the office, have that person be the implementation, really all it is, opening up, just like we do for anybody else, opening up an account for the patient and letting them, order as they will after, whatever they commit to with the doctor, whatever period of time they say they'll stay on the program. And them knowing that they get to it at wholesale the same as the doctor. They're not paying retail. They're not paying an upcharge. So those were really good, to me, talking points when talking to a practitioner.
So great. Thank you, Sin. Did everybody understand what she was talking about when we're talking about how a doctor can incentivize his staff? It's really an important point when we're talking to a doctor. You guys understand how that works and how they're able to say that? You're looking at me blankly. So I'm going to say that that's probably no, and let's explain it more.
Yeah, I think Deb was shaking her head, but I couldn't.
Okay. Oh, I see you over there. Okay, so let's say I'm an employer and I incentivize my staff. So when I had a tanning salon, I would incentivize my staff to sell a certain package. So if they sold so many of those packages, then I gave them, a percentage for each package or a dollar amount or whatever that was. But that incentive came out of my pocket. It came out of the package price. So I had to give up part of my profit to incentivize my staff. When we bring in Isogenics and we are able to help each one of them get an account, they are all involved in the financial tree. The staff is benefiting, the clients are benefiting, everyone's benefiting from everyone's orders. They're getting money off of the leads and off of the clients and the patients that are going through the office. So they are getting extra bonus money based on how the office is doing and the people that they're signing up. So the doctor, those bonuses and those incentives and that money is coming from a place that doesn't come out of the doctor's pocket. Everyone's connected together. Does that make sense? that's a huge thing. So how much happier is your staff when they're making more money? Big deal, right? Nobody's going to go, no, don't give me a bonus, right? When they understand. So it's such a great point. Thanks, Sin.
Sure.
Mars, I know that you were listening in. Did you get any gems? I'm going to throw you guys just on the spot today.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like the big ones were like from people who aren't practitioners. How do you approach a practitioner? And one of the big things that I heard was, everybody, all of us know how great of a product this is, but you go into your doctor's office, a doctor who has had, 10 years of college, 10 years of studies, they've been practicing for 10 years, let's just say, and you walk in and you're, thinking, check out this product. It's really awesome. It helps me do this. It helps me that. And that's, obviously that's how we all want to just like verbal vomit on them. But, their big, what they were talking about was understand where they're coming from, because that physician has just been practicing a certain way, and they've been doing all this stuff, using pills, whatever. And the biggest thing that they can see is your testimony. So if you go in there 30 pounds less, with lower blood pressure, with whatever, and they say, well, what the heck have you been doing outside? Like, what are you doing? So like your testimony can be the biggest value of how to approach your own physician. And that kind of, let's face it, all doctors have sort of an ego, right? So you can't really, I don't think, just like run into a practice and be like, look at this. They won't really trust it, because that's just how doctors are, I think. But seeing your own testimony, seeing your progress and what you've done can be huge for them. And also bringing in a product and asking them to review it for you is another way. Not being like, you should try this, but this is what I'm going to try. I'm not asking permission, but this is what I'm going to try, unless you have an issue, right? That's another thing, just bringing in a product and asking them to look at it, and hopefully they see the value in it. But there was one other thing, but
So what would be the downside? So when somebody says, I have to go check with my doctor. What would be a good response for that?
Oh yeah, what did they say? I forgot what they said. I forgot what they had said.
My doctor.
But I remember them talking about it.
That's why you need to look at this closer, or something. Was that it?
There's an easy way to say that, please look at this closer. There's also, to back that up, which I know that they talked a little bit about, but separately, was the clinical studies and how important that could be. So when you're bringing something to a doctor and it's clinically studied, that's a way different space. But also to ask will you monitor me while I do this?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of asking them if it's okay, say, I've researched it. Unless you're like on some medications and whatnot that you really need to ask. Yeah. I've researched this. I'm doing this, and I would love for you to monitor me while I'm doing this. Something like
because that. What could happen if I ask them, so somebody comes to me and I'm their doctor and they say, can I do this? I'm going to say no, but why will I say no most of the time?
Probably don't understand what it is.
Yep, and protection of yourself, because if you say, yes, you can do this, and for some reason they have an issue, well, my doctor said I could do it.
Right.
It's kind of like a
exactly
legal issue, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and because it puts them in liability. Hey, you told me I could do this.
Liability issue. Yeah.
Right. So Thank you, Mars. That was good. Do you think of
Yeah, I
anything
feel like
else?
there was something else, but I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
If you feel there's something else you want to share, I'm sorry, I don't know if I let you finish that whole thing, what you were thinking. But if there's anything else that you wanted to add in that you really took away that you want to share, please just do. So the thing, what I witnessed today was really incredible, because I don't think that I've ever seen that other than like a doctor's panel at Celebration. I've never seen an entire day that was just all practitioners. And then to be able to open it up and offer a live stream. And even though, was it per, 100 per thousand pure quality? No, but could you get everything? Yes. Could you hear them? Yes. Could you see the slides? It was all good. And to be able to plug one of my practitioners into what they were talking about today, they didn't have to be in Atlanta to be there. So we really, what we witnessed today was incredible. And I don't think this will be the last time that we see this setup, which is exciting to know that we're going to go into more of that format of coming from a professional side of it. And that just makes me excited. Yeah, Mars?
Okay, so I remember one of the things. So Dr. Ina had suggested that if somebody is taking a medication and they're wondering if there's an issue, a lot of times, she would say, well, talk to your doctor and make sure this is okay. But she also mentioned that you can call your pharmacist, right? You can call your pharmacist, or you can go in to talk to your pharmacist and tell him, okay, so I'm taking this medication. Are there any herbs? Are there any supplements that I need to be aware of that would, have an effect on this medication? And I never thought about that. So I thought that was really cool. Telling them to ask their pharmacist instead of, scheduling an appointment with the doctor and going to do that. So that was another cool thing.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that is such a great point. And most of the time we go and ask our doctor a question about a med, but really it's the pharmacist who is the expert in that area. So if we really want to talk to somebody about that, that's the way to go, really, is to talk to the pharmacist. Right? So I really just want
to
go ahead.
Sorry.
Nope.
And no, she didn't have any, like, if somebody in the audience was asking a question, I can't even come up with a question now, but she had no qualms about saying, you need to check with your doctor. Right. Mm-hmm. So sometimes, and I know I've thought this before, like, oh my gosh, if I tell them to go check with their doctor's going to say no, and it's going to be, oh, well, they won't be able to use Isagenix. But if you think about it, that person is like, they really need to know if they can use it, if it's medically necessary. So I just liked how it was just so easy for her to say, well, my opinion is this, but you really need to go check with your doctor. And, for her to be so comfortable in saying that, I don't know, that was huge. So if people ask me questions, I'm not even going to think twice about, saying, this is my opinion, but you really need to check with your doctor. So.
Yeah, like, it's the posture of just being able to say that and not feel fear around it that they're not going to come back because of that. Because no matter what, in the end, bottom line, we still always want to be able to feel comfortable telling them to do that.
Were there any, can I ask a question? When she offered about checking with the pharmacist, did they have any that had actually done that they were successful in doing that, taking it in, and it was successful that way?
Like, I don't recall her saying any, like, she didn't give an example of it. But pharmacists should know, like, right off the bat, if you're taking a certain medication, it will interact with, some kind of herb. But she didn't give a specific example.
Yeah, no, she did say, though, like, on your point, Marcy, that if you are on, like, anticoagulants or any kind of medication, when you're asking the pharmacist, make sure to tell them that they're all natural supplements. So it's herbs that will be thrown into the mix of the medication that they're taking. And are there any contraindications to herbs or whatever with their medication?
Right. Okay.
I mean, as for instance, we do know that if somebody's on a blood thinner, that can be an issue, because what we do also thins the blood. So as you detox and you go through the system, it also thins your blood, and we don't want to thin people's blood twice. That is not a good thing. So there are some things that, you know, right up front we know are, but does that mean that they can't take a shake? No. Does it, you know, there's still things in the system that they can utilize. We would just need to sort of do a better job at picking and choosing individual things for them.
I have learned something. You know how when you have a surgery or you're doing anything with needles, they tell you to stop taking your supplements about 2 weeks before, especially fish oils. But I also know now from a situation I had, product B does the same thing to your blood that fish oil does. You'll bruise pretty badly, and it does it makes your blood thinner. So I would, if anyone's going to be doing anything, any kind of procedures or anything, cosmetic procedures or otherwise, that in addition to the fish oils, that the product BB stopped as well.
So are you referring to like a blood test where they would be sticking you or something like that? Or are you talking more of an actual procedure?
No, like a blood test or Botox or a filler or something like that.
That's a good point. I will remember that, because I do live in Las Vegas and not very many people get Botox here.
Really? None?
But
maybe one or two.
Yeah, one or two. No boob jobs and no Botox. So anything else that you guys can think of? So no question, when we do this again, it is going to be really imperative to not only have any practitioners that are in the area be in the audience and sitting there with them, but to have any of them jump online that are not in the area and watch this, because there's no question. If there was a practitioner that walked out of that room today and wasn't a higher believer or didn't want to be involved, I don't know what it would take, because it was really that impactful. It really was. I was really impressed that the panel was great. Everything that they talked about was very useful. Not that doctors don't deserve, massive cred for going through school and doing everything that they've done, because they absolutely do. But how do we in talking to them, it's really just a matter of treating them like another human being, because that's what they are. And most of the time they haven't gotten the nutritional education that they need in order to be able to make an educated decision. So sometimes just giving them a little bit of a compliment and, on where they are in life and what they've been able to do, and ask how you would, I would love to be able to add to your bottom line. They're all in business. Their doctor, their doctor practice is still a business. It's not philanthropy. Very few of them are doing it for free.
Yeah, probably not.
Right. So, really just to be able to have that conversation, and what we see happening, and especially with the clinical studies, use those over and over. They want to see those. They were created, they were done not only just to, of course, give the product credibility, so we know that what we're saying actually happens, but look at, I don't know how many of you ever, attempted to work with a practitioner, but with a regular white coat med doctor, they go, "Where's your studies?" It's the first thing they say. And it's so great to be able to go, "Right here," because they think that that's a stopping point, but that's the jump off point. Cool. Questions? Anybody want to add anything in?
I was just looking at my notes. I just have a few key things that kind of jumped out.
Please.
So Dr. Ina went over, the core 4 4 products. And one thing that I thought, like, there were just some verbiage that she used that I thought was pretty cool. So with the e-shot, well, so first of all, she said the e-shot's equal to, caffeine-wise, a cup of coffee, which for some reason I never made that connection. But that's, the caffeine is equal. And the adaptogens that are in the e-shot are focus adaptogens. So it's not the same adaptogens that are in the ionics. And, those are focused with mental, the focus adaptogens help with the mental clarity. So, and she even said, she drinks them at night if she has a meeting coming and she needs to. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to like pump you up before bed, but you can use it right before sleep. Right before a meeting. One thing that Dr. Glenn had mentioned, he said, there was one thing that he was lacking in his practice. So he was talking, he can adjust people, he can, learn about their deficiencies that they have in their body. But one key word that he brought up was he couldn't address people's financial deficiency, which was I loved that. And, finally, now that he has Isagenix, that solved that problem. But I loved that, financial deficiency, which is cool. And then I did notice that, Cynthia, and you made a post about this already, and I wrote this down too, that it's about 20% of active associates in Isagenix are practitioners. That is huge. Like, that's huge. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it for me. Oh, and I did write down that Dr. Ina does, for the ISA movie that she sends to practitioners, is the Isagenix difference. Just as a side note.
And that's the she likes to minute one with Dr. Lee, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the one that she likes to send to practitioners.
I liked that she said that too. That was good. Good information, because that's something that she could resonate with that. So that's good to know.
Yep,
totally good.
So,
and
those are my little nuggets.
You are feeling bad because you didn't hop in and watch. None of it was recorded. So sorry, guys, but we know
it wasn't.
Time.
Actually, it was, but not. I don't think to share. I think just for
like
their.
They didn't record it off the Zoom. They might have recorded it in the room. I don't know.
Oh, it did. I thought it said it was recording because but that might not be for everybody. That might just be.
You know what? I'm not sure because I thought I checked and I thought it said it wasn't, but I could be wrong. If you saw it,
yeah, they might need to send it to compliance first or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, right. They're not going to send. They won't send it out to anybody. Maybe just for training purposes, maybe for the team, but they said that they're not.
Oh, but they did record it.
I believe so. Cause like Marcy, I saw the recording button in the upper screen.
I think
there might've been one segment, I believe Lisa said, that wasn't recorded, but I believe the majority of it was.
Oh, good. Well, that would be good. So then I'm wrong. No FOMO.
Well, hopefully it was recorded because it was good.
It was awesome.
It really was. And
I had so much to do today, but I didn't want to miss it because I was like that was the best panel. That was really good.
I'm like on 3-way calls and like sneaking in and listening, and somebody come to the house for coaching, like different stuff, and I'm like, why today? I'm gonna listen to all of it. But so I think that was good. Let's hope it's recorded and we can get it out to everybody. Anybody have any questions about what's going on? Are you guys paying attention to the customer first thing that's coming up? So make sure that you guys are looking at the customer first site and really getting educated on how things are going to change as far as enrolling people and what's going to happen with customers and preferred customers. And we are just really right now delving into it and learning like the intricacies of what's going to happen with BB and what's going to happen with things like that. So for new customers and for PCs and how you have to go, there's like a pathway to associate now. There's like different things that are taking over. So,
and that's all starting in April. Is that right? I forget the date.
Is it March 27th?
Oh, I got to go back and read the email.
I'm thinking it's rolling out March 27th. I could be wrong about that, but I thought that was the date. So it's upcoming. It's close. Is it April? Somebody tell me.
I don't know. You're probably right. I thought it was April, but I forgot. I don't know for sure. I'll go look.
Okay.
I know that the Thursday meetings started last week. So there's one last week, one this week, and then one next week.
So my
assumption would be they wouldn't start it until after those are done.
Yeah, they're doing Zooms and explaining it. And I watched the customer one that they did this past week. It was a little bit confusing. So I went back and was reading through. I think there's more information on the customer first site. So look through the intricacies of that. Because once it rolls out, the enrollment process, everything's going to change. And so for anybody who's existing and been doing this for a while, now we have a learning curve to catch up and do this a different way. I believe that it's going to be a good thing. There are some things that are going to change. And so we got to pay attention to now what we're understanding about people that are sitting, that are only ordering and not doing any business practices about banking, BV, and things like that. So some of that is going to change. So we're going to have to really pay close attention to some of that stuff that we've been used to for a while. And I'm not entirely sure how it's going to change yet. We just know that there are some things that are going to be maneuvered. But we are getting ourselves really educated, and then the company's doing trainings, and I'm also going to see if we can invite one of the corporate staff on. So whether it's over us or over you guys, whether somebody to come in and really make sure that we have all the intricacies hammered out. Cool. Awesome. Questions? No, no problem.
Thank
Good to see all
you.
your faces. No, things are good. Anybody have anything I want to add in? Good? Be complete?
I think we're good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you have any questions?
Hi, Josh, even though I can't see your face. Aw, there you are.
Josh, not Joshy.
Josh, not Joshy.
Josh, not Josh. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you for
Thanks so much, JoJo.
doing this, JoJo. It was awesome.
Well, thank you guys for all of your note taking and all of the stuff you had to share. That was great. So, good little mastermind. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was great. All right.
Good night.
Bye. Have a great week. Bye.